Welcome back. Get ready to turn on dark mode. We're here to talk working in IT, video games, tech, and everything outside the 9 to 5. I'm one of your hosts, Taylor Floyd Muse.
And I'm Keegan Lassard, and he is bald. Oh my goodness. You just get tired of cutting your hair. You just went full in, huh?
Well,
Just
you mean tired of not cutting my hair because it was getting annoying, like matted. I was wearing a hat all the time, and like the hat would, when I took it off, it was just like these weird angles of hair like peeking out, and I don't know. I had to get rid of it.
Bro, being hats only for an entire month has changed my hair's part. Like completely. Like here, I'll show you. So now my hair completely goes to the side.
What did it do
like
before?
I'll wake up with the morning. Well, I didn't have like a middle part before. Now I have a middle part.
But dude, I didn't see anything. I just saw a mat of hair. Like, I don't know what you're trying.
See how like this side goes out that way?
That's
That
not
used
a
to never
middle
happen.
part.
I look like a kid from the 90s. I look like the kid on the sitcom that was like bad for the daughter of the family. Like he's bad influence. He wants you to smoke cigarettes and like go smoke some weed.
What, are you a greaser now?
I guess so, yeah. From like
shave your head
at
then.
Home greasing away. My hair's greasy though. Like now that it's getting longer. Can't wait for next week. No, I managed to make it this far without doing that. And next week, Missouri is open for business. I can go get a haircut.
Thankfully. The side of COVID-19.
Tastes so good. No, they're releasing like strict regulations. Like they call it like a 10 rule where certain businesses can only have like 10% of their capacity. And the barbershop, you can't, only one person is allowed in. So you have to just text the barber when you're parked, and he's like, I'll text you when you can come in, and then they disinfect and everything, and then you go in. So
dude, everything's gonna be so much cleaner. Like after this, like people are gonna be cleaning way more often and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's really nice about it is it's like I feel like we almost had a reset button because you'll just drive around. And you see so many people just out and about walking or doing outdoor things. And it's like beforehand, I don't really remember ever really seeing anybody outside of their house like that, or like that many people like going on runs or walking around with their kiddos or something like that. But it's definitely gonna be weird when we go back in. No,
like as soon as it's been like vaccinated, people are like, all right, back to doing nothing.
Back to polluting the earth.
No, I don't know if it'll be that immediate, but like I don't know. Those non-runners that are now running for like the get out of the house, like that's gonna end real quick. As soon as the bars are back open and they can drink again, they're gonna be like, all right, I have my fitness stretch, I'm straight.
Yeah, it's weird how people are motivated now, like to get out and go on walks and runs. But you know what's frustrating is when you're driving around. Like I had to drive around a lot because of my frustration with my PC, which we'll get to. But when you'd be driving around and like I'll see people in their cars, windows up, but they got the full mask on. Like,
I still
you're
don't
in your
get
car.
that. I don't get that at all.
You're in your car. You're safe. It's not gonna come in through your AC. The corona, are these people like sleeping with their masks on? Like you don't need the corona's not gonna sneak into your car while you're driving.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. I think like they might have done it out of like laziness to take it off when they get in the car, or they like might have forgotten, to be honest. But like I've seen a couple people where it's like hung around one ear, but like I just take it off and put it on like the dashboard or the near the cup holders until I need to get out of the car again and go into a public place. So
yeah, because with glasses it's the worst thing in the world. I'm fogging up my glasses left and right whenever I have the mask on, so I don't want that thing on when I'm driving.
yeah, I take like anytime I put my mask on when I'm wearing glasses, I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this like fogged up crap, so I like just go put contacts in immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, I did finally upgrade my PC like we talked about for, 3 years. Um, and it was a journey. It was honestly one of the most frustrating things that has ever happened recently. And
Well,
that's with
well.
me being at home. Yeah, yeah. Building your PC is kind of like a blind date. Like all your friends talk about how great it is, how great they are when they're trying to set you up to actually build a PC. Same thing with a blind date. They set you up like, oh, dude, she's great. Like, trust me, she's cute, she's fun, she's smart. You should go on a date with her. And so then they convince you. So then you get kind of excited about the idea of building a PC in this scenario. So you're excited about the qualities that they talked about, how much fun it is to build your PC and really, really understand the inner workings of the PC. So you get excited, you get invested in it. And then the date approaches and you're like, "All right, cool." You gather all your information, you're researching about her, you're Facebook looking at what she's on Facebook, you're like, "Oh, this looks great. She'll be fun." Get to the blind date, disaster. Always it's going to be disaster when you do your first blind date and apparently when you do your first build. My case, everything went wrong. I couldn't even get power to the motherboard. So, I mean, I once that happens, it's like, what do? You're stuck there. You're sitting at a restaurant, and you're like, do I bail on this date and just like see ya? No, like you're stuck with this PC that you got to get to work, and
I
you're sitting
thought you
there.
were gonna
It's
say I was
11.
stuck with this piece. Oh shit! I was like, whoa. Oh man.
But then you're stuck there, and you have to debug it, and the worst part about it is you get all the parts separately, right? So you get all your PC parts, and when you buy them all new, but somehow you could literally follow it to a T of how you're supposed to build the case
Yeah.
and the motherboard and plug everything in, and everything's new, everything goes in as the manual says, but yet something can go wrong. That doesn't make sense in my head. Like, how am I supposed to know that, like, maybe the littlest thing I did was cause not power to get to the entire system? So that was definitely frustrating. Oh,
I mean, I feel like that's just your luck though, because that's definitely not how my build went or like other friends that I had. Like, there's obviously some issues that will occur, but it wasn't to the point where like it wasn't even booting. Like, or I shouldn't say booting, but like you couldn't even get like lights to come on. And I was like, dude, I don't know how to help you remotely here. Like, I went through a few troubleshooting steps, but I really was like puzzled.
and I had another friend that came and helped me, and we got it to a little bit further to know it wasn't faulty parts, which that's like the worst. That you could just end up and be like, oh well, you just had a faulty part. Sucks to suck. Like it
Yeah, but
happens.
like,
In my head, I'm like, it shouldn't happen.
but that you get like
Why?
insurance with that. Like, not even like you had to buy it, but like if they sold you a faulty part, like especially at like a local shop, like they're gonna replace it. It's not like, oh yeah, you're screwed. See ya.
Yeah, but like it was nice though once because with you being remote, it was hard for me to like show you what I was looking at. And then when my buddy came and he's like, "Yeah, you literally did everything right," it was like a sigh of relief because all I'm thinking in my head is I broke my own parts because obviously not cheap. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, "Fuck, I should have just not done this." And but once he was like, you probably just need to take it to like an expert or something. But when we were debugging it, we lifted the CPU and I saw that some of the pins were bent.
Oh,
And
that's not good. That's not
yeah,
what you want.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, CPUs are pretty expensive. And what do people online say to do to fix this? A insurance card through the lines, the rows of the gold pins to bend them out. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, for like a super expensive part, I can literally just fix it with like an insurance card. Like this
When
is
you
what's
say
saving me
insurance
from
card,
buying.
what are you talking about? Just like a credit card
Like,
style thing, but
but yeah, but
like
it has to be
the
it has to be
thin.
thinner than a credit card.
Those
So an
insurance
insurance
cards
card's
are
like
like really
super thin.
flimsy.
Yeah, and so I used a sewing needle and I was like bending them with the thread of the needle up, and then literally just going up and down the rows with the insurance card. and it worked. And I'm like, wow, that's like a 200 whatever dollar fix. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're definitely having more of an experience than I did because I didn't have to do any of that like bend back and weirdness. Like,
I'm telling you what, guys, out there, if you are building and you don't have any power coming through, hit us up, hit me up. I got you.
are you sure you
But
want to take on that? Because you already had enough stress
dude,
doing this.
well, when I talked to, so eventually I did have to take it to experts, right? So, and I was talking to them and they said, yeah, you debugged it as you should, like to a T. So I at least know how to debug it to make sure you either need to take it to a specialist or not. But so I go to Micro Center, I call them, I'm like, hey, can you guys support custom builds? And they're like, yes. I'm like, cool. So if I came in today, you guys could assist my build if I bring it in. And they said, yep, we sure can, dude. And I was like, cool. I'll be there in a bit. I get up there, I wait in line, I'm doing the 6 feet. Everyone's wearing their masks. I got my hand sanitizer. I'm all good. You know, I got a Karen up front of me to ask for the manager, but that's cool. I'll wait. and then I get up and I was talking to the dude. He remembers me. I said, hey, I called in a bit ago. He's like, yeah. He's like, where's the build? And I haul it, put it on the thing, and he's like, cool. He like pats it. And he's like, we'll get you checked in, and it should be 7 to 14 days until we can look at it.
That's ridiculous.
You couldn't the 30 minutes ago, you couldn't have, warned a brother like, hey, you could bring it in. We probably can't look at it for a week to 2 weeks, which that's just a look at it. So that doesn't even mean I'm gonna get it back in 2 weeks. Because I'm at the point where thinking maybe I have a faulty motherboard or I have, like all these different things are going through my head.
Yeah.
So I'm like, screw that. I'll keep debugging. And then I found a local chain here in Kansas City that's a PC store, and I called them, and they were like, "We can see you today, and we can look at it today." I almost wanted to tell the dude I loved him. I was like, "Thank you."
They didn't even do nothing yet.
Yeah, well, I got there, and then you're in the right spot when the dude that's like helping you through it at the PC repair shop is like, he like optimizes the amount of words he says to you. You ever met like somebody like that where they don't just like talk to you, they like really consider what they're about to say and how many words they say, and if there's a more optimum way to express something without going too far in a sentence, they won't say it. So I'm like, so could you look at it? He's like, yes. I'm like, all right. So like you would just like look at it, debug it over the power, and then like give me an estimate. And he goes, yes. I'm like, you have any ideas what it could be, or like off the go? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, and he's like, we will call you. And I'm like, cool, like not personable. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, I bet you're really good at what you do. I'm just gonna leave you to it. And sure enough, within 30 minutes, they called and said, we found what the issue was, and we'll get it done by in an hour or so, and you'll be able to pick it up. I'm like, bless up. Sure enough, they were, and then of course over the phone, the same dude that's like really optimal about the way he words his things. I was like, so what was wrong with it? And he goes, the back panel. And I'm like what about it? Like when I checked, it was on there, and he's like, yeah, we remounted it. I'm like, I get that, but like, what? Why was what I didn't? I'm like, either way, I'll talk to you when I get in the store. Sure enough, when I get to the store, he just reiterates that, yeah, we took up the motherboard, we replugged in, and remounted the back panel with the CPU, and it fixed it.
That's
and I'm
weird.
like, but how'd you guys? And I'm like, but how'd you guys know that was what the problem was? And they're like, and he's like, that's just our process. I'm like, cool. All right. Next time I do AMD, I'll just make sure back panel. I guess that's like literally the only reason what's wrong with it.
We can take a look at what she looks like. I was trying to get her queued up over here just now as as I was like looking all around, but this is the close up of the PC. I mean, I don't know if you can't see it right now on your side, but like you took the picture and you're also able to look at it, so that's cool.
And I know what it looks like, so
but yeah, I mean, I think she looks pretty good. Like I don't know why the AMD processor was such a, well, actually it wasn't the processor, it was like the tightening of those screws, those spring-loaded screws that really did it
Whoever
in.
invented spring-loaded screws can go to hell. Like it is like one of the worst inventions of all time. Like especially with this application of where it is logistically. Like the most precious part of your PC, I'm going to put spring-loaded screws on top of the very bendable CPU where you don't want to put a lot of pressure on it.
But like the funny
So,
thing is, like I've built a PC with these, like you can see here, these spring-loaded screws. How do I get it to go over? It's being difficult. Whatever. I've built a PC with these spring-loaded screws before, and I didn't have like the issue of it sliding around. But like I don't know if I had someone like help me hold it down or something. Maybe that like would have helped. But it is kind of a weird design choice to have that, where I've just seen ones that like they just like hand tighten in, like they're the thumb
yeah,
screws that you can then tighten with the screwdriver afterwards.
right.
And I don't know, those go in so much smoother. And plus the backplate isn't metal. It's just like a plastic, like it comes through the holes into the other side of the motherboard and through the fan. And then you can screw them in. And it's just like it's 10 times easier. So I'm sorry that the processor that I recommended was so difficult.
And it's cool that it comes with a cooling system, to be honest. And honestly, the biggest thing I would reconsider when going through this is the logistics of this case, because this case where they put the hard drive sleeves is the most frustrating logistical nightmare I've ever seen. The hard drive sleeve is right next to the power supply, and they give like maybe 2 inches for the power supply and then the big bulk power supply. I'm like, how am I supposed to route power cables in without going through the hard drive sleeve? So I had to take out the hard drive sleeve altogether before I could even continue. So now I got to figure out that mess.
So to clarify, like Keegan isn't using an SSD here. Like he has one. We've got him an M.2 one that like plugs directly into the motherboard, so that thing will be fast. But
I know, I'm excited about that.
yeah, like normal SSDs can like screw off to the side because they're thin onto like the case wall, but you still have like a terabyte HDD from like your old PC that you just transferred, because that's like where all your games are, and you don't want to have to reinstall all those bad boys. So I was sitting here not thinking when I recommended you get this case, because I had just built the case for someone with it and he didn't need it, but it was a really good case if you don't need that. But I also was like kind of under the assumption that like if you did need that case for the hard drive, that like there would be a way to fit it in. But like the cords literally bleed straight into where they go, and it's just like, honestly, how would you make this like it's weird. So for a first time builder too, I don't imagine like you had any like other options to think like, oh, maybe if I did this and this. You were just like, well, we're screwed.
I literally tried 2 different like variations and then unscrewed it. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it still
Like,
plugs in, but you just can't shake the case.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought through. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be really mobile with this PC. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to bother me that it's not, connected in. I mean, it's plugged in, but it's not like a sleeve into the container. So the first time you like really helped me through it, and I was really just kind of observing. I mean, I was still helping, but like you were definitely in the pilot seat. So it's always really intimidating, like just seeing it all. And until you really like actually open the case up, put the motherboard in, like once you start getting the ball rolling, it gets a lot easier and easier. But like looking at all this stuff is super intimidating. So like if you're a first time builder and you're building like the specs that are in that, like I would recommend just having a friend, because like just hearing somebody say you're doing it right, or like, oh yeah, that's right, that's correct. Like I was realizing that how much of a sigh of relief that was. Like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Because you really are putting your money like just to your skills to get it done. Because like you can't blame anybody but yourself.
And like I was planning to come down there to help you out because I knew how it was gonna be like your first build on your own and like everybody's remote, like you can't really get help easily. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's gonna be so tough. But then I had to cancel, and then like we were just basically like, all right, well, it's gonna be a minute before I can come, and we're getting antsy, so like let's just go through with it and see, hope for the best. So I apologize, but also like it really sucks that you just happen to run into like all these issues that normally aren't a problem on your first thing, especially after doing everything correctly. So I hope this doesn't scar you from future PC building, because in future times, most likely you will be able to have me to come over and help. So
Yeah, I mean, the good part is it won't have to be for a while. So
we'll hit you up in like another 4 years. It's like, all right, maybe we can upgrade the graphics card, but then like at that point, literally all you got to do is just boop and then boop, put it back in with a new one. So that's the easiest thing to replace. It's like 2 screws and then just a snap in.
Honestly,
maybe the RAM would be a little easier because it's smaller and you don't have to do screws.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's only one less step.
But I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely still come over and be like, all right, Keegan, you got this? Like, all right, be careful with that. Like, careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob.
Oh, well, when like DDR5 comes out, that's when I have to go get it.
Maybe. I don't even know. Like, I think I'm pretty good spot. I can't even speak. Damn. I'm in a pretty good spot with my computer, but I'm waiting for that next generation of GPUs. But you could easily just like later down the line, like if RAM's cheap and it matches your current product, you could just like get additional RAM and then just throw it in your other DIMM slots, because right now you have 2 of the 4 filled. So let's say all of a sudden you're like, I want to do a lot of more video editing, and then you're just like, bam, 32 gigs of RAM, just toss it in there.
Oof. I wonder. Oof. Like, I'm just out here like, I can use Google Chrome because I can. Like, I got all the RAM for Google Chrome. Firefox, Opera bullshit.
Yeah, so I have 32 gigs of RAM solely for the reason that I got RGB RAM and they didn't sell it in increments of 4. They only sold 8, and I wanted to fill all 4 light up DIMM slots. So I got 32 gigs. But granted, I did get them on sale, so it wasn't like I just spent a ridiculous amount of money solely on the RAM. I spent like probably, let's say I spent about as much as if I got non-lit RGB non-lit RAM, not on sale.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, the RGB stuff's on sale for like about the same price as the other stuff would be if it wasn't. I was like, all right, sure. I'm a sucker for the aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're still ugly for the fact that you wanted all slots filled just because you wanted it to look nice.
Well, you remember last I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago, I was like, I err on the side of overkill. So like,
yeah,
I definitely 100%. Would just be like, oh yeah, like that either looks cooler but I don't need it, or like I will never have to upgrade for like, I shouldn't say never, but for a long time, like I'm doing it. But
that's fair.
But the funny thing is, I gotta roast you for this a little bit quick. I was like, Keegan, you got a computer now. You got a working computer. Like, let's get that Doom going. Like, buy that stuff now so you can have it ready. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, what do you mean, no? Like, you've been waiting. Like, you said you were super excited. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to play till this weekend. I'll buy it tomorrow and then like later download over the day. And I was just like, but like, why wait though? Like, you're literally doing nothing right now. Just pull out that credit card, slap it on there, and just start downloading it now. And he's like, I'm good. And I'm like, Keegan, bro, you procrastinate everything, even to buying your games. Like, he's like, I'm gonna buy it 4 minutes before I want to play it. Oh man.
But like, hear me out. Like, my thought is, okay, if I wanted to buy that the moment you told me that, is I would have to, first of all, switch over from my work from home setup, which I don't have like a switch for. I have to manually plug in my USBs back into the other computer and switch the monitor displays to the computer. Then go on Steam, purchase Doom, and then do nothing. Don't install, don't do anything.
Yeah,
And
install.
just wait.
You can install it on your hard drive that you then swap over to the new one. Also, you don't have Steam on your phone?
I don't really use it on my phone. I don't really know why I would need to.
To buy games, cuz like to snag deals when you're away from the computer. Also, you don't have Discord on your phone too. I was like, oh, just like send it to me in Discord. He's like, I had to hop on the PC. I'm like, the phones they have apps for a reason. Like, use them. But I don't know. It wasn't really that ugly of a thing. I just thought it was funny that you were like, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. I was like, all right,
I don't know, because the way my brain works is like it's almost like torturous to like do that because I can't just play it. Like in my mind, I want to hold off until I know that like I can buy it, I can download it, I can play it with no reserves. And in this case, it'd be like, cool, you gotta wait until maybe your PC gets fixed. Because at that point, I didn't even know. Well, wait, no, I did know. That's what brought it up. But at that point, I was like, well, first of all, I even have to get it set up. Like, I still have to like activate Windows.
Yeah, we'll get that going later on, but at least that like you have Windows and it went to the homepage and like it ain't busted no more. I wanted to make sure that was the case before we were just on here like, hey, I built a PC, and then it's just like after the podcast hits the power button, doesn't work again. He's like, oh man.
Man, I'm still trying to get used to your bald head. Because I don't think you realize in our entire friendship, I have not seen you with a buzz cut.
It's been 6.5 years since I've cut my hair this low. Like I've always had like at least some hair on the top, like with a high top fade. And I don't know, like for the last 2 years, I was always like, yeah, I wonder what I look like with a buzz again. Because now I have facial hair. And this also coincidentally is the time where I'm like growing out my beard to see like how it can be, because like it went through an awkward phase and it still is like not perfect, but I wasn't going anywhere, so I was like, it doesn't matter. And then it's like, all right, now I shave my head and now I've got the whole shaved head beard look. Looking like Drake.
You look like Drake.
Yeah, you said it. My friend who's obsessed with Drake said it, and I was like, all right, like maybe a little bit just for the fact that he has a shaved head or a buzz cut and a beard, but like I don't know about that.
Well, you started from the bottom, now you're here. So,
oh my gosh, painful, painful.
I will say, when you had that tradition on the track team to like go only mustaches.
Oh, that like, would be rough right now. Like, oh my gosh, that would be bad.
Well, like I was gonna say that like it oddly suited you, but that's with the flat top. So now I don't know if it would.
I was actually just looking at that picture today because it showed up on my like Google Photos like memories. Like it was like, oh, check out these photos today from last year or 2 years ago, and I'm gonna put it on the camera real quick for people to see. But like this was my mustache with the high top look, and it I don't know, like some people loved it, some people hated it, and it was just like it was a look. My girlfriend really didn't like it, but I cannot imagine what I would look like right now with a mustache and a shaved head. Like that would be so bad. Thanks for giving me that image in my head. He's like, no problem. All right, before we hop into the next topic, if you guys liking the podcast or the YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications on all of our podcast platforms. Be sure to leave a rating. That'll help us out greatly and get us where we need to be on New and Noteworthy. And also check out our Buzzsprout link where we can get you started with the Buzzsprout account and get you a $20 Amazon gift card. So if you want to start a podcast with a friend and get $20 free, use our link. All right, next topic. I'm moving on from that one. So, you asked me a question off stream about about where we're going with work nowadays, and I think we need to let him hear it.
Yeah, well, it's just like when we're when we're debating what we wanted to talk about, it's like I know we keep talking about remote work, but like it is such a topic now that like I, for a while there I thought, okay, this is just going to be a very temporal thing, but at the same time now I'm thinking more and more like I wonder how this is going to drastically change the work environment like come 2021 going forward. Because yeah, we'll recover and things will go back to normal, quote unquote normal. But I'm truly wondering if some companies will slowly but surely be like, you know what, we just proved for 4 months that we can work remotely fully. Like, I can't imagine somebody's going to go unnoticed on that metric and maybe see how much they actually save by having people work remotely.
Yeah.
And I bet you the first step is going to be the option where it's like you can work fully remotely. We support it now, and we actually think it's a great idea. And I'm wondering if these conservative companies are going to become more in the middle, because the last trend we talked about was modern what open workspaces and like ping pong at work and all the different modern Silicon Valley staples now becoming into the more conservative companies. And I'm wondering, well, now this is the next wave, and it's going to be, you might interview for a job and they say you can work fully remotely. Do you choose to? Do you not choose to? And are we going to eventually be a fully remote, workforce?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, and I've seen a couple of like articles that I've just have read talk about it, like, oh, working remote might be the new norm now, or just like companies will be more inclined to use it. But I'm not like it's difficult to know if they're gonna be like having it as an option, because I think that because in office work was such a staple for most of like jobs, for them to then go to remote, they were like they noticed like maybe a slight decline in like either office morale or productivity. So like I don't know if it's going to be so quick to hop on it, but I guess there are some companies that are better suited for remote work, and those ones maybe. But like I personally, like, now that this is like the start of week 7, I think, for me. Well, actually, it's not the start anymore. It's towards the end. This is week 7. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all right. But like, I really miss the office and just like camaraderie and general stuff. So like, I don't think I would want to be a fully remote worker when everyone else is in the office. So it's, if people had the option to be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to be remote now, and they could like make the call like whenever, like maybe they do a little bit of planning, like how are we going to adapt, and only like a certain percentage. It'd just be kind of weird if it's just like, all right, like now that coworker's just like no longer here. I don't know. It's kind of like a weird middle ground.
I mean, I think I'm with you on the fact that like I've realized I can't do fully 100% remote. I need human interaction, and I kind of, as much as I can be efficient, it still is like, I mean, I've talked about this on past podcasts. I just don't do 100% the best that I possibly can being remote. I know I excel better in an office workplace environment, but it's definitely there's definitely ways to make that person feel like they haven't left the office though either. I remember at Caterpillar there was one person that had to do that, and they got their own little iPad, and like you could like see the person, and like they would attend meetings.
That's interesting. That way. Who was responsible for them? Like, or did he control it remotely?
He controlled it remotely.
So you could hear his little wheels like coming down the hallway, like, oh, here comes Jeff.
Not like that far. Like they could like rotate it around so it would sit at the desk.
Oh, okay.
Like if you needed that person, you could go to the desk and the iPad would be there, and then someone would bring it into like the office, but it could move like left and right, and like
I thought like he was attached to like wheels or something. He was literally just like putzing around the office like, hello, how's it going? Want to grab some coffee?
We just become like the humans from WALL-E, where they just are all like sitting on their hover chairs.
Yeah, for real. Dude, that movie was so ahead of its time. Like, I need to watch that again. I like a lot
It's
of it
kind of
went over
depressing.
my head when I was little. Like I shouldn't say little. Like
Yeah.
it, I was still like teenager. I forget exactly when it came out, but now that I like think back on it, I'm like, jeez, man, that tackled some like real world, like futuristic dystopia problems that like could become a thing.
Are going to become a thing. I bet Elon Musk watched that movie and he was like, yes, this is what I've been warning people.
Yeah, and then like Black Mirror became a thing, so they were like, dude, this show is what we need to make like an adult like deadly TV show about, where it's just like enough with that kid foo shit. Like this
Yeah.
is like real stuff. So I don't know. Wally. And it touched your
I haven't
heartstrings
watched that in
too.
forever. We just got Disney Plus back, so I'll have to give it a watch.
Is it on there? Well, of course it's on there. I don't know why.
Probably. They announced that all the Star Wars movies, including the newest one that came out, are all going to be on Disney Plus come May 4th.
Fourth be with you, I guess.
May the 4th be with us.
I forgot
But
that's a holiday. Well, not like a national holiday, but like May the 4th. Kind of
Kinda.
clever, but like all of a sudden it's been all over my news feeds, and I'm like,
I mean, it is kind of a holiday. I mean, they can't do their Star Wars celebration that they normally would do, but
what do they normally do?
they do like a huge like almost like Comic-Con event for Star Wars and like have announcements and celebrations around Star Wars in May.
Like a parade and stuff.
I don't know. I've never been to it. I just always it's always like Star Wars celebration thing, and then usually they have some sort of like teaser of something or some sort of announcements around Star Wars. Which
Are
I
they?
don't know what their plans are next.
I was gonna ask, are they planning like another spin-off movie like Solo or Rogue One or something
They
like
better
that?
do a Boba Fett one. They better or something around. Well, they're doing the Mandalorian, which kind of suffices your bounty hunter, wants. But like, I want like a rated R like bounty hunter Star Wars movie really
Were
badly. But I know they'll never make it.
were the other spin-offs all PG-13 too?
Yeah.
Has there ever been an R-rated
So
Star Wars content released?
nope. The closest thing they did that was like they did a video game. No, it's still got a teen rating. So no, they haven't really done anything
Are you
like
talking
that.
about The Force Unleashed? I thought that did get an M rated.
No, I got teen, and then they had also Star Wars Republic Commandos, and that one was pretty violent and pretty like I don't know. They had like scary aliens that popped out at you, and I don't know. That
Spoopy.
was still a teen rating though. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what Star Wars is doing next. I've been so caught up in Marvel that and DC that I haven't really been paying much attention to Star Wars.
Yeah, I kind of checked out of Star Wars after the last film. Like not because like of opinions about it, but it was just like, oh, like that's the end of the saga. Like I'm moving on from Star Wars for a bit, you know.
Yeah, I think it was like I was satisfied and I just needed like a breather. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was a hefty ride, and I think I need a little break.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat on that one. But
The only problem is I didn't think it was going to be like a 2021 until we see a freaking movie break, but that's fine.
yeah, it's a little bit tough for sure.
But I mean, we still have video games and we still got news from them and releases still. So
Yeah,
where
that
movies lack, we got the games.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'm actually kind of excited about, even though I don't play Assassin's Creed that much.
I tell you what, Assassin's Creed is a roller coaster, dude. Like I've been off that ride for so many years, and the last two games that they released, I've watched people get on the roller coaster and they look like they have a ton of fun on it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get on. I'm like, nah. This one, I'm like, okay, I think you guys might have finally lured me back into the series. Because before, you guys disappointed me so hard with Assassin's Creed. What was it? 3 was the last one I played.
Oh, you've been gone for a
And
while.
really long time. And so now this one looks, I mean, the trailer was just jaw dropping. I was like really already hooked into like the story, even though there was like zero story really. It was just some characters and like a fight sequence,
But you
but like
could
I'm already
tell like the way that they're advertising it, like the cinematics, like they're gonna try to implement that into the game, like the storytelling aspect. Like I saw an article of, they were talking to one of the devs and he was like, yeah, we're trying to make like the storytelling like really compelling and tell it in a unique way, like that's a little different from the previous ones. So like I don't know if it's going to be like those awkward cutscenes where it's like you're just choosing dialogue and it like cuts back and forth and there's like really choppy. They might change that. Like that's completely my speculation based on like how they're saying they're going to tell the story in a unique way, because all the previous ones were always told through like those, like they didn't have like cinematic cutscenes with like fun stuff. Like it was just like, I don't know, I didn't really resonate with that.
and it's one thing. It's like Assassin's Creed, I think in the beginning was such a story rich game, and they kind of lost sight of that like a couple games deep, and then they kind of like lost their focus around what they were building, and they were just building more game mechanics. And I think they finally come in back to where they started, and they're gonna both have great game mechanics and a great story again. And it's gonna bring a lot of, I think it's gonna bring a lot of fans that used to be fans of Assassin's Creed, and it's gonna be bring a lot of different fans. um, and also Vikings, great combat. I feel like there's gonna be so many cool options because Assassin's Creed. I mean, I feel like we've seen it all, like with swords and stuff. Now we're about to get some axes and like I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it on the head with them like finally narrowing it down to like they got the gameplay in the last couple and then now they're gonna get the story coming. But like I don't know what it is about the Vikings. Like I guess when I was doing God of War and like that Norse mythology was really fun, and then like now they're gonna bring in like the whole assassins side, like with like the hidden weapons. Like actually, you could just see it right there. He just did it in the trailer.
Oh,
But like they got the hidden blades, and then you got axes, and then just like I don't know. I think like out of mythology, just like as like I don't know, fun content to read. I like the Norse stuff. Like it's kind of cool that way, with all the different realms. So if they bring like that kind of play into it, where you're traveling to different realms, like I think that'll sell pretty well. So I don't know. There's so many things they could do with it, and I just hope that they don't fall into old habits of like we took a step forward last time, now we're taking a step backwards. Because I heard that Odyssey was a big step over what's it called? Uh, the previous one,
Origins.
Origins. Yeah, I never played Origins.
Yeah,
But
I didn't either.
I actually didn't even play Odyssey because like I really wanted it, but then like a ton of games came out, and then I just like passed up on it because I had been taking such a long break from Assassin's Creed. But uh, that one looked a lot of fun because they brought back more RPG elements. People compared it to like The Witcher with the combat, and that was kind of like what they were going for. So, dude, if they blend it all together in this upcoming one, like I'm there. And it's supposed to come out like in late 2020, so like it should be like a next gen console title. I don't know if I'll get it
And
on
they're,
the
I mean, they're
console if PC like is also where it's coming out, but we'll see.
yeah, I mean, they're teaming up with Xbox and PS5, and I mean, I don't know. Like, as much as I'm excited for it, I still have the like Ubisoft will find a way. They'll find a way to screw it up, I think.
I
Like
was
in the
like, wait,
back of
where
my
are you
head.
going with this? Yeah, they might. They definitely might. They're not EA, but
And
they're
you
damn
know,
close.
they're second place. But like, I mean, I just hope that my main thing is like I hope they don't take too much from God of War. Like I don't want a God of War like 2.0 in a different like I hope that they can manage to do a similar like theme, but put their own twist to it. Um, that'll make me happy. But if I like feel like, I mean, as much as I love God of War, I think it's just kind of a respect thing. If I feel like I'm just playing another version of God of War,
Yeah.
it's like you're kind of I don't want you to steal too much from it, but
That's where it's dangerous.
I don't know.
Like, you can, all right, I have faith that they're not going to make another God of War simply because I don't think they're going to make drastic gameplay changes this time. And Assassin's Creed does feel unique with its combat. Like, they did change the formula up with Origins and Odyssey, but like that is gonna feel completely different than like the more close over the shoulder cinematics God of War had, where like you had this beefy axe that like literally when you chunked someone, it like catches the enemy and then like follows through with them, and it felt meaty. Like if they're gonna go like the hidden blades with axes also, like I'd imagine the combat feels a little different. But like the dangerous side is they're showing in the clips like there's this big Viking guy that's like in battle, but then he like transitions to like play fighting with his family. So like in like the Norse like family is probably pretty huge. So like they're probably gonna bring that in. But if they're gonna go the whole like father son play through the whole game, that's where it's like, all right, we gotta like that was already done. So like we need to like we need to change it up a little bit. So I don't know how they're gonna bring that in, but like they definitely will face some criticism, I feel like, if it's like that father son following the whole story. So
I kind of hope they don't go the whole Norse mythos, because I mean I know he made that like Odin's with us thing, but I think that's just like a rally cry. I hope they go the opposite route where they go very historical as they normally do, and it's that's the pure story arc was just like on where the Vikings were at in the certain time period they were at. If they do that, it'd be different, because then we have the mythos of God of War, and now we have Assassin's Creed, the more historical Viking.
So I mean, I believe they're probably going to go down the mythology route just because like their previous games have always had some sort of like mythos like underlying thing, and it's kind of like a weird tie-in between like technology, history, and then just like some complete weird shit going on. So like I know in the previous one I saw somebody doing a boss battle against like Medusa, and like they brought that in. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in like more of the mythos for Norse in this one, which I wouldn't mind. I think it would be kind of cool, but they have to keep a good balance of it. So
Yeah, I think I'm just realizing that like I gave up on Assassin's Creed so long ago that like I really don't fully understand its story really at all. Because for one, I played it when I was really young, and I just was mostly focused on how dope the new game mechanics. Because when the first one came out, it was like
game changing,
genre ending, like
genre
that.
ending. Whoa! It shut down another genre. What are you mean? You mean genre starting?
Well, I guess so. But if you think about it, like before Assassin's Creed, it was like Prince of Persia was like the really big,
True, yeah,
like action parkour, and that and God of War as well. But Assassin's Creed, I remember I was watching on G4 back in the day.
Oh, rest
RIP.
in peace.
But I remember that E3 so vividly because I just remember the cutscene of him just jumping off the building, and then them cutting to like the little thing saying in-game footage, and like him landing in like the straw, and like, and then they just go into the demo so smoothly, and then he's like blending in with the monks, and like I just remember being like, oh my god, like I want this. And then like I got the game, and it was confusing as hell what the story was, because I was younger and I was trying to wrap my head around it, but I was like, I don't care, I'm having fun, I'm killing people, like whatever. And but yeah, you're in a system, and you're in history because you're related, and you're the only one that can activate the system, all the different things. And like I remember really liking the game and then giving up on it. So now I mean I'm not surprised that like I had no clue that there's mythos tied in now, because I haven't been in it in so long and I don't really know.
I don't know, man. Like I've only played one like that I bought, so I also am not invested in the story, but since they don't really tie together anymore, like at least to my knowledge, I will probably be getting this new one.
They probably do, and we just like don't. We have like no clue.
It's some really deep, intricate connection still. Like how they like toyed with you in God of War. Like how you like think, oh, it's like a reboot. Like don't worry, and then it's like a continuation of the previous games, and this kind of like a slap to the face. You're like, whoa, like this ain't just like some new game. Like this is more God of War. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna probably buy it, but who knows at this point? I think the funny thing about this podcast is like it's a lot of fun to talk about these games, but now it's like I feel like I have a duty to at least try and buy all these new games, and it's kind of feeding into that addiction to buy new games to at least try it out.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't help with that, but I mean we did pretty good this past fall with like getting the majority of the games we said with like a couple of like sleepers and like ugly purchases, but for the most part like it's been pretty solid. Like I've played a lot of time into the games I have bought. But yeah, I say I might buy Assassin's Creed now, but like for once I think they said it was in like December, I think.
Holiday 2020.
Okay, so that might mean December. I don't know. Either way,
Yeah.
that timing really depends on what's announced for the fall. Like this game is not top priority now until I see gameplay and then they sell it on me with that. But like I'd imagine that like new IPs come out this fall, and also like 100% Cyberpunk's taking the top priority at this point. Like those games are going to be what's played first, and then Assassin's Creed would take a backseat to that, and like maybe I'd even get it on sale. So we'll see.
My thing is, as soon as Baldur's Gate 3 gets released and Cyberpunk, I'm done. Then you can't convince me to play anything else.
I definitely you can. All right, those are some bold statements. I will hope that you could follow that, but I'm just saying right now that's not happening. Like something else is gonna happen
besides Avengers.
No, not even that. Not even that. I'm talking about you cannot count on no sleeper hits happening this fall. That is like impossible. Given our personalities, there's going to be a game that's completely overlooked, i.e. Fire Emblem. And then we're going to be like, dude, are we just going to get this game? And then we're going to joke until it's purchased. Like, you can't rule that out.
Let me make this statement then. There's no game that was going to convince me to not play either Baldur's Gate 3 or Cyberpunk next fall for more than 2 days. Like, I'm going to play that game almost daily at that point.
That's fair.
Like, there's no game that's going to make me lose track. Like, I have lost track of Fire Emblem, or I've lost track of actually Animal Crossing, which I haven't been on in 3 days.
But at the same time, like, I have been in that boat and you have been in that boat, and like we get tired of playing the same game day in and day out, and then we buy a new game and then take a long hiatus from that game that we just said we weren't going to stop playing. And then it's like we come back later. And you did that with Divinity, and like that's going to be like what Baldur's Gate is. And then I've done it with games like well, I mean, this isn't the best example, but like Doom, I was super excited, but like I still have put that off because I was playing other things or just like working on the podcast. And it's like every time I want to hop back into it, it's like, well, dang, I was struggling there. It's going to be hard to come back to it. So like there's going to be some sleeper hit game that's going to pull you away from those games. Not in the first week, definitely not, because that's the prime time to be playing. You're just like, all right, nothing else. But then after that first week or two, you're going to be like, oh, I'm smelling other games on the horizon. And then I'm smelling. Yeah, dude, that nose perks up. Dude, I'm telling you, you start sniffing for trouble. So then it's like, all right, what else is on the radar? And then you start looking around at like, oh, that's out. I didn't even think about that game before, but now I'm teasing it to myself. I'm like, oh, I might get that. So I don't know.
Maybe I just need to tell myself that so that way I don't make more and more stupid purchases. Like, yeah, because if I don't tell myself and make these bold statements, like I'm just gonna be super ugly this fall.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that we make some ugly stuff, just like because what you said, we want to play games for the podcast as well. But also, we have both broadened our horizons a little bit. Where like I started playing a strategy game that I probably would have never played before, and now you last episode self-proclaimed I'm back, FPS baby. So like, wouldn't be surprised if some new FPS comes out this fall that Keegan was like never gonna play before, but now it's like I want it. I mean, Cyberpunk is an
By the
FPS,
way,
but you know what I mean.
yeah. By the way, I finally got Valorant code.
Oh, okay. Let's play. Let's play. Let's end the podcast right now and
All
get
right.
after it. He's like, see you later, guys. But you have to like install everything first. So like, as soon as that stuff is like installed, ready to go, I need that Discord invite, or like, well, to the. Does this support Discord invites yet? I don't know. Either way, hit me up. We're playing.
Oh, oh boy. I mean that, or I'm gonna play Gears Tactics, maybe.
Oh yeah, the Gears version of XCOM. You're definitely playing that. Isn't it on
Honestly,
Game
dude,
Pass?
it is. It is on Game Pass. I'm honestly not interested in playing that. I am found that I'm just not interested in the Gears of War like universe.
Anymore or never?
I used to be. I used to love the horde modes. I played the first 3 games, loved the story. I picked up Gears of War 4 when it came out and had some fun on the multiplayer, but ultimately the guns in that game just haven't been updated in however many years Gears has ever been involved. And I can't imagine that this Gears Tactics that they have that crazy of like new gameplay as far as like gun mechanics or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't really have a huge like drive to try it out. I've seen great reviews of it, and I bet it is a really fun turn-based game that is like probably a breath of fresh air from XCOM. But like, I don't know, like if I'm gonna play that type of game, I'm gonna play the new XCOM game that they just released.
Okay,
That's
but
like,
let me tell you why you probably will want to play this game. Because like that XCOM game that just was released is probably going to be pretty short. So like you'll get your XCOM fix in now. But you were just saying how you wanted to rebuy it on the Switch, and like you technically already own this game through Game Pass. So like you don't have any harm
yeah.
in trying it out. So like if you're like, all right, I don't want to play XCOM like anymore, this is a perfect way to try out a different strategy game, because you've bought a lot of games that are pretty like, similar in the same respect that like a lot of my FPS favorite games are pretty similar. So I feel like at some point I'm gonna get that text like, yeah, I'm playing Gears Tactics. And I'll be like, how is it? He's like, it's, and then give me his opinion.
I mean, I'll probably try it, but like I thought when it got announced that I would have more of a drive when it first got released to go get it and try it. But man, I don't know, like it's shocking because this is the first time FPSs are outranking the drive to play a strategy game. I'm more excited to play Valorant. I'm more excited to play Warzone with friends on PC. I'm more excited to try those out first and to get better at those first over a strategy game. And I honestly think it's the combination of free time for video games with the quarantine mixed in with I don't have social interaction. But I think if I was going to bars, if I was going to the office and I was seeing people and I was talking to more people, I honestly probably wouldn't like Warzone as much as I like Warzone or have the drive to play first person shooters again. It's mainly because like that's what my friends are playing and they're now more fun because of that. And that's the only option I have for online social interaction. So I think that has a major part to it that I didn't really think about last episode when I was like, I'm back, baby, first person shooters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Like you have a little bit of like situational bias going on with like, I don't know, just the world events kind of forcing you to be playing more video games. But I don't know. I feel like there's still a little bit of something there because like when you gave up on FPS games, it was similar to like how I've given up on League, like on more than one occasion. Because I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I hate this game. Why do I play it? Like, I'm bad, whatever. It's too much thought induced. Like, people are toxic. And then, like, I'm back 6 months later. And then, like, that happened like 3 or 4 different times. But then, like, the last time I gave up, like, I was irate. Like, it was the most mad I've ever been. And I was like, all right, dude, like, I'm indefinitely retiring. Because, like, last times I was like, I think I'm going to take a break for a while. But now I was like, I just have no drive to. But then they keep releasing those freaking dope trailers that like have no business being as cool as they are for like how crappy the game looks in comparison. Like I shouldn't say crappy because the game is like its own art style, but like they look nothing like that. You know what I mean? So like I always get that little twinge like, ooh, League though. And then it's like, yeah, I gotta hold off because like nothing but pain comes from playing that game. So
you trying to tonight?
No, not even remotely. Oh man. But I don't know. I mean, I'd imagine that you try this game out if it's free. But again, I also said that about playing what's it called? Outer Worlds, because it was only $1 and then I never got around to it just because of like other games and stuff. So situational things might come up where like you don't play this. But
I forgot that you haven't played that yet, and that was a great game. I'm glad I didn't have to pay very much for it because it was pretty quick. Like I finished it rather quickly. But
and it's still supposed to come out on Switch. I forgot.
yeah.
I don't know when that's happening, but that's kind of a cool little tidbit. I don't think I'll buy it on there, but is it still $1 for the Game Pass? Excuse me, is it still included in Game Pass? Because Game Pass dollar thing might be like gone now. I don't know.
It's still included, and if you want a free thing in Game Pass, I have a code. So,
well, I still also have my free trial. Well, actually, hold on.
It's probably expired.
Well, like, isn't it just like a normal kind of thing where you can like try it before you buy it, or is the $1 thing the promotion? That's like
the $1 thing's the promotion.
Well, either way, I probably won't play it. Just because I still need to beat Doom, and I don't know. I've been playing other stuff. Been slowing down on Animal Crossing though. Not like I'm fully sick of it, but like I got to the point where like I'm doing terraforming, but like I don't want to just like sit there and go like chop on rocks all day. So like I've been doing it in little increments where I'll do like, okay, I'll do this part today, wait a day, do the rest later. But I've just been,
dude, I hate the camera angles in that game.
Yeah.
The camera angles make me hate trees in that game. Like I want to get rid of all the trees.
Yeah, I mean, I got used to it, but like there definitely are just like weird quirks to this game that like you said when you reviewed it, like you were just kind of like, why did they make this game like old on purpose? Like they're stuck in their ways, and it's just like, I don't know.
And it works. That's the worst part. Like it's like when you're trying to log a defect at work and it's like, well, the requirements don't state that that's how it should work. So then you have to log an enhancement and nobody ever wants to do the enhancement. It works as is.
So you're like, all right, well, we're good. But I don't know, that game could use some quality of life improvements, more than a few. But on another note, I can't really tell you if this is a leak or not. You can be the judge. All right, bye. See you later. Walk away.
I don't want to hear it.
So I saw an article and it was about the PS5, and it's saying that it's supposed to come out with a or not come out, but like they're supposed to finally do their announcement on June 4th. And the source was a well-known games journalist, Jeffrey Grubb, who's he also correctly identified when like Nintendo Direct was happening and other things in the past, but like they reached out to him to say like, hey, do you know when the PS5 event will happen? And just like without hesitation, he said June 4th. So like They didn't say where he knew it from, but like he's probably got inside information. So I wouldn't imagine that it wouldn't happen in June at least. Maybe not the 4th.
As far as leaks go, they at least have a source. But I just find it funny that it's a leak and rumor for an event of just details. It's not like a leak of like of certain information. It's like, hey, it's a rumor that we'll actually get the information we want in June. Here's a whole article on just that little bit of news. It's like, I don't know. I've honestly PS5. They are really Sony's really teasing the public. Is like well, eventually you'll see something from us. I mean, we'll have some guy leak it to you that we're gonna have an event where we'll give you some more information soon, and you have to wait another month for that event. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. We can't confirm. Like Sony, just like nut up and like give us an announcement, like something. Jeez, they could have made a cool like backdrop of the PS5 logo, since that was so important for them to leak out of just that, and then June 4th. And then everyone tweets about it, and then you don't have to do a stupid leak with a dude.
Because like that would at least just be like more hype inducing. But I don't know, like they are playing it very weird, and I like you always do say like, oh, have a guy leak it out, but like I don't really know if it's like intentional, like where like, okay, somebody just whisper this out, but like there are definitely people just like in the circle that will know about some things, and then when they get asked questions they might just like blurt something out. Like,
here's the thing, I mean, I don't know that this happened, but I'm assuming that journalist or whoever wrote that piece or whoever works for that company reached out to Sony for a statement to answer that question. And I'm assuming Sony said nah, and they went and tried to find other sources. Sony knows that that's what that journalist is going to do. They chose not to do an announcement or say to the journalist, "Hey, we're going to make an announcement that's going to answer your question. We'll give you the drop." Like, in my head, that's probably how it went. And then they had to resort to a leak or a rumor. So in my mind, it may not directly be Sony deciding that's what's going to happen, but by not answering that question or being upfront with when the next, announcement's going to be, and having all this shadiness so far of tiptoeing around, it's causing pieces like this to happen. And I would be very surprised if somebody on that PR team or communications team is not suggesting they do something on their social media feeds, or let's give them something else. Like, we had something like a month ago, we probably need to keep reeling them in. Xbox is over here, Xbox just got another huge plug with Assassin's Creed. So I mean, I'm a Microsoft person, so I'm kind of happy that they're dropping the ball a bit, but it could be argued that it's not really dropping the ball. There's still hype for PS5 regardless, but in my opinion, that means that they just take advantage of the fans. They're saying, we don't need to because we know you guys and we know you guys are hyped for it, so we'll just won't release any set confirmed things for you guys. And if I was a fan, I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, I don't want these. I mean, I'm pissed off by rumors and leaks in general. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and definitely knew you were gonna get a little bit, not, I shouldn't say confrontational, but like you always love to roast those leaks. So I had to tease you with that. I don't know if it's a leak or not, but like clearly a leak. But
you start the first word out of your mouth is rumored.
But I don't know. I'll be excited to see if it comes out in June. I mean, it makes sense because that's when E3 was supposed to be anyway. So like it's I would say it's probably a pretty credible one, but like I'm not gonna be shocked if it doesn't. So
yeah, I foresee a lot of announcements of stuff to be teased for June, the next coming weeks.
We're in a weird spot, but May should be an interesting, like, oh, we're gonna be having like Xbox do this or Sony do that, or game companies doing it, like we mentioned in previous episodes about the whole nobody's doing a digital replacement for things except for Gamescom or Gamescom. So,
or movie studios, they're just like, we're just gonna release to on demand and
yeah.
just skip our release date entirely.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
see
that's a
that
different beast.
Universal's?
About Universal?
Universal Studios decided to release Fast and Furious, just like skip their, or was it even Fast and Furious? No, it was like Trolls World Tour or something. They just decided to skip their release date, and they released on demand.
I didn't even know that was coming out.
Yeah, and like now more and more movies that are saying they're just going to go right to on demand, and AMC theaters and Regal both said we're banning Universal Studios from our theaters.
Jeez, man, what? They're just done?
Now I get that, like, it sucks for their business model that a studio during this time just said that movie we were going to release this year, we're just not. I get that, but at this point, I mean, what, you wanted to push them to 2021, that already messes your budget up. But like, you're not even open, and you're banning from showing them movies from a certain studio. That's not really leverage. You're not like, I know you'll eventually get open, but like, you're not open now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you can be like, you're banned. They're like, well, it's like banning someone from a bar, and they're like, well, I can't even get in your bar. I'm not 21. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even open to me. So it was, I mean, something needed to be done, because that does kind of screw over the theaters when they say we're just going to go straight to on demand without really giving any sign of hope for the summer. But I mean, a lot of the theaters have on demand services now too, so that could have been sales their way as well, unless they decided not to be on their platform.
I don't know, like, how that's gonna like mitigate itself in the future, like how they're gonna resolve that, or like if that's gonna set a precedent where like people are like, yeah, I don't like your decisions, you're banned. Like, get out of here. Oh man, strange things going on.
I mean, it's strange because Disney has their entire platform that they could release movies to, but yet, like, all the theaters are like, yeah, but you're cool, Disney, we can't really mess with you. Universal though, oh boy, you're in trouble. You're banned, you're grounded.
Strange moves being made.
Yeah,
but I guess that's gonna do it for the show today. That was kind of
that was a hefty one.
Hefty one.
Yeah.
Your internet's been fucking bugging though. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, you've been RoboCop all day.
It's funny because I'm getting great speeds right now.
So maybe it's not us, maybe it's Discord. We're doing it through Discord. We gotta find a new program.
Yeah, shout out to Discord. We need a new Discord. We need a new service.
I mean, I don't even know if it's them. Like, I don't know what the problem is.
Hey, any devs out there that want to figure out remote podcasting
with video? With video is the kicker. We had a remote podcasting with audio only, but then we wanted to be able to see each other and make this set and do things. And like, there's nothing. Zoom doesn't work well. Like, when I talk, he gets cut out. Same thing with Skype and NDIs. Like, there was issues with us doing that. Like, I don't know. There's no perfect solution. So somebody make us something.
And to be fair though, like, all the major podcasts and like YouTube channels are doing these like remote interviews via Zoom, and they're just checking quality at the door. They're like, you know what? Everyone's going through the motions. We'll just accept the robo voices and the cut and all the different things that go on during remote interviews.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that like that kind of also helps us out, where like people aren't hating on it. They're also seeing it in other things. So we're all working through some kinks.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's been real. It's been a fun podcast, and if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, Obviously, subscribe, like, and give us some feedback. You can follow us at all of our social media platforms that's been appearing on the screen. It's at Dark Mode Podcast. And if you want to email us, it's darkmodepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to take any questions you guys have, feedback. You like the show, you hate the show. Even the negative feedback at least tells us what we need to not do. So please let us know, or else we'll just keep doing our thing, and we'll be here every Sunday, 7 p.m. Central.
Also, our website, darkmodepodcast.com. We had a little bit of issues with the images not loading. Like, if you've been to it, there's like no central logo, and that's because like it's just not loading for some reason. So we got to figure that out and also make it more mobile friendly. But we'll get that coming to you soon. So hit it up. It still has working links, but like it might not be the prettiest thing in the world.
Again, it's Keegan's bad luck where like I literally implement it as it should be and it should work, and there's things that go wrong.
Yeah, it's a tough look. But yeah, hit us up and we'll be coming back at you next week. See you guys in the next one.
See you next week.